everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a fail video. If you are expecting this to be a masterclass on how to do acrylics, you can stop watching now. This set it just goes wrong and wrong and wrong. It took me forever to get some kind of set by the end of it, and it's just painful. It really is painful. You have all been warned. Absolutely, you've been there. There we go. There's the first one, right? So the first one is, the tips are wrong for the practice hand. Well, the pinky certainly was. Now, the problem is I needed to use that size, and I was going to do them on the little metal holders rather than in the practice hand itself. But then I was like, oh no, that's not going to hold properly. But I needed this size because of what I was planning to do. Now, this set is not even remotely close to what I was planning to do. It goes wrong that much. But as we all know, I show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. I will show you when it goes wrong. Right? I am not one of these channels that goes, hey, look, here's my perfect design, which I just did it all in like 5 minutes flat and it just went perfect. It's right at the very start of it and nothing possibly went wrong. No, because this is called reality. That's not how things go. I show you when it goes wrong and how I'm going to fix it, which is the most important part, to be honest. You know, it's all very well when a set goes brilliantly for you, but when it goes wrong, how do you fix that? If this was on a person, what are you going to do? Right? First fail I made, I did not buff these tips. Right? I always buff my tips because the acrylic just doesn't stick properly when you don't. I know some people don't, but I just find it just doesn't. You know, you don't have a shiny nail plate that you put your acrylic on. So why would you have a shiny tip? It just doesn't work. This beautiful colour, this is called Tea Rose and it is from CJP. And I love this colour. It's beautiful. And it's got a little really super fine silver glitter in it. And it's lovely. And it goes on beautifully. And it's lovely. And there we go. We're like, yay, I've achieved a nail and it's beautiful. The core powder that I'm using is called Oh Dolly. I have not really used this one because it's way pinkier than I would ever use. And the consistency of it just absolutely threw me. It just did not work the way I was expecting it to, like a normal CJP core powder. I'm like, I don't get it. And you're going to see, we're coming up to... So the first fail is the pinky. Second fail is I didn't puff my tips. Third fail is going to happen on this ring finger. The bead consistencies are just wrong. And this ends up a lot bigger than it's supposed to be. But you know what? It doesn't matter. That's what a file is for, right? It's called, you don't just wang on your acrylic and you don't need to file it. I mean, that's brilliant. Sometimes it works. Sometimes we can do a set and go, minimal filing. Yes, we have achieved. We feel like we are winning when we get those. And sometimes it doesn't. So do you know what? That's what files are for. Right? So we're going to fix it. It's okay. Now, I only I only subject you to doing this one. I think maybe the pinky, which I do actually do on a separate one of the little metallic tips because that was easier. But when I did the index finger, I had this moment of clarity and I suddenly realised that Oh Dolly works like Slush Fairy. And you all know what I mean if you've watched me use Slush Fairy. Flush Fairy? Fluff, 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 fluff. Slush Fairy. It doesn't work like a normal core powder. I have to do what I would call a drier ratio than I do for any of the other core powders. And Eau Dolly is exactly the same, right? So I come in with my normal ratio, but it is too wet. I am fighting it. It is sticky. It's not good. And the colour, and it was the colour actually that got me, that went, that looks like the colour of Slush Fairy, but without the glitter in it. And I am pretty certain that that is the colour that is used in Slush Fairy, or something very similar to it, because like I say, they work the same. So by the time I get to the index finger, I've cottoned onto this. Now, sadly, I don't cotton onto it before the index finger, and sadly, I didn't record any of that, which is super helpful. But this is my usual one where, you know, I sit down, the kids are occupied, I'm like, right, I've got some time, I'm going to sit, I'm going to do an acrylic set. I was originally going to do this as a gel set, and I was like, no, people love it when I do an acrylic set. Come on, Shona, let's do the acrylic set. And you already know where I'm going to go with this one. The amount of times I got disturbed. So after I'd done the the middle finger, I paused the video because I was like, oh, right, take a breath. We can do this one, you know, because I've had a week off work and I've achieved really nothing that I wanted to in terms of, you know, getting acrylics done and stuff. My week has just not gone to plan whatsoever. In fact, I am now more exhausted than I was before I started my week's holiday. The only plus point is I have actually managed to get the back garden looking good. I've been out with the kids. We've done some nice walks. The only problem is I've now given myself plantar fasciitis. Some people will be looking at me going, what the hell's that? It's basically where the sole of your foot swells up. And it is incredibly painful. And so that's kept me awake now for 2 nights. And so it's been midnight and I've been having to ice my feet. Quite literally. And during the day, I'm basically on ice packs. So the good weather's now come back. We've had a couple of days of rain. So I was like, yay, great. We're going to go out and do stuff. No, we're not, because I can't actually walk. In fact, I can barely stand. I can't even do my gardening because, again, standing is a problem. I've managed to, like, de-weed my paths. You know, I've got that lovely, they're like little bricks. I can't remember what the type of path is. But, you know, the weeds always get between them. And I've got a special little tool that I use to get through them, which is great. And I could do that sat on my bum. So I was like, yep, I've done that. I have achieved. Which is why I thought, right, I can't actually physically do anything else today. Let's just sit down. We're going to have a chill day. I'm going to do some nails. No. Yeah. See, I'm trying to put it on thicker. And when I first put it on, it looks thick enough. It doesn't go too badly. I am starting to get the hang of, you know, like, yeah, let's make this one a bit thicker. Because like I say, on that pinky, it was running around all over the place. The other thing, now it is, the sun is shining. It is actually really warm outside. But apparently it's freezing in my room because this wouldn't set. It wouldn't set. In the end, I took my practice hand outside to get it to hurry up and set. I was like, it's not that cold in here. It's like, apparently it is. I was just getting impatient then of going, right, can we just get through this bit? Because we're going to do the arty bit and that's going to be fun. And it was a bit of an experiment and I knew that the next part could go wrong, okay? But I thought I'd come up with an ingenious plan that even if it did go wrong, I had a plan for it. We all love that plan. The plan that never goes to plan. But you feel like you're winning because you've made a plan. Yeah. So yeah, the other reason why you need to go a lot, what's it? I was going to say thicker consistency. It's not. It's a drier consistency. Is you need the coverage because it does end up quite opaque. Yeah. So then I had to add more beads to get rid of the opaqueness, and then, like I say, it gets thicker, and we just have to, So that's where we are on this. Now, I know it's not horrific. I mean, I remember my first sets, which honestly just looked like square chunks on a nail. I mean, you spent more time filing than you did anything else. But, for my standard these days, this is pretty bad. Hence the fact I'm not going to sit here and go, yay, look at these sexy nails. No. This is this is a fail. Let's see if we can fix it. Let's see if we can come out with a decent set. And I'm telling you, by the time I got to the end of this set, I had actually lost the plot. Now, normally I ignore social media. So we got a village Facebook group, and generally I ignore stuff. But there was a post yesterday that just really peed me off. Somebody complaining about a kid on a bike in a field. And I'm like going, and wanting them to be named and shamed. I'm like, well, what the hell? What the hell? And I don't know why, but in this moment, as I was already absolutely peed off by this set of nails, that sprung into my head, and I was like going, you know what? I'm actually going to reply back to that because it's stupid. Mrs. Anonymous Member. Yeah, you're a freaking Karen, and we know you are. Okay. But anyway, enough of that. Her response was brilliant, I must say, and got a response back from me. So this was going to be the next fail. Now, I knew that these stickers, it's almost like having nail varnish in a pre-stickered form, if you like. I've used them on my own nails. The problem is that when you've used them once, because they come in a sealed pack, you generally can't use them again. It's like it's once you break the seal, that's it, people. That's it. But I thought, do you know what? I'm going to wrap these ones in like an airtight bag, right? And see if I can reuse them. So they didn't stick to start with, even though they were sticky on my finger, which is odd. So I was like, right, I'm going to put base coat on to make it sticky and then try it. And that didn't work either. I am not a big fan. I've been using the Savaland foundation gel and top coat that I got with, obviously, my gel polishes. And I really don't like them. Like, no. So, so this has no problem to sticking to my hand, but just will not stick to these nails. So I'm like, right, do you know what? I'm not going to be defeated. So I'm going to put, there you go. Are you slightly irritated there, Shona? Just a little bit. So I'm like, right, I'm going to use foil gel, right? So I have now got foil gel on these, and I'm like, oh, yes, this is sticky. This is going to work, right? And it did, except I picked up the wrong size. And I could have got away with this, except for what happens next. These, basically, it cracked. It started to crack, right? Because it's dried out. And that's why you can't reuse them. Even if you then reseal the pack and put it in an airtight bag, it loses the moisture that's in there and it cracks and it doesn't work. Okay, so that was my original experiment, was I wanted to see whether or not these could be reused. Because, I mean, they're only about £2.50. You can generally get them on, like, buy 3, get 3 free, So it's not a lot of money. But, when you go in, I can only use a couple out of that pack at any time because of the size of my nails. Don't match the size of these. So I wonder if I can reuse something. The answer is no. No, I can't. I'm going to give up in a minute and I'm just going to file this now. I'm like, right, so that didn't work. Now where am I going to go with this design? Because I hadn't anticipated it would fail that spectacularly. So I was like, right, I'm gonna get all the stuff off this one. I'm gonna put some more foil gel on it. And then I was like, right, I've got these little stickers. Let's try these little stickers which go on the tip, which I thought, oh, okay, we'll give those a go. I've lost count of what number fail we're at now. We're at 5? 6? Oh, because here comes the next one. So yeah, so I was like, right, here we go. I've got some little stickers next to me. I'll give these a go. And no, I can't get these to stick either. They're supposed to be stickers which are like French tips, but with funky patterns on them. And I thought they were quite cute and a bit cool. And I got one side to stick, but I cannot get it to no. See? Did you just throw your tweezers down then, Shona? Yes, I did. Now, it is funny for me watching this back and recording, doing my voiceover for it. It was really not funny at the time. Like, there comes a point when you're like going, right, you should just walk away and come back, right? So I'm going to buff this tip as well, and I'm going to get some foil gel on it. And then I'm actually going to go get some foils because, for the love of anything, we need something else to go on this, okay? Now, I've seen a recent video of this woman doing foils, like these kind of foils, and she managed to get the whole lot off in one go. I was like, oh my God. And she was telling me, in the video all about the struggle she had. Leave it to cool for a little bit and then try it and use your fingers. It works much better. I was like, okay. Do you know what? I'm going to go with it. Oh my God. Could I get these foils to work properly? No. So let's have the next fail, shall we? I even come out... I mean, this one doesn't go too badly. The other one's not so much. Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I think at this point, it's possibly the fact that I'm rushing because I'm frustrated. And I didn't lay the first bit down properly. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of shot for this point. I am literally just rubbing it. I'm just rubbing the life out of it and hoping for the best. This one turned out the best out of all three of them. But yeah, I just... Deep breaths. So that one goes all right. That one's okay. Right? The middle one is horrific. And basically, I end up pulling the middle one off. And I'm just doing something different. The pinky, unfortunately, ends up really patchy. Like, really patchy. I think this pinky just had it in for me just the whole of this day. It was like, what? You want to sit down and do a nail set? No. Yeah, I have started to lose the plot. More so than normal. So anyway, I'm gonna skip a little bit further forwards. Right. So I'm not happy with the patchy. Especially on this pinky. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make it a feature. I'm going to kind of cover it up a little bit. And I'm going to make it a bit fun. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just painting kind of like silver little trees, basically. I don't even know if they're trees. I don't know what I was going with. I just went with it. Deep breaths. I'm running out of things to say now because honestly, I'm just going to be repeating myself. This part went fine, actually. Hey! First part ever. This bit went fine. Like I say, I'm going to redo that middle nail. Because, yeah. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to speed up this part maybe. I don't know. I was pleased my brush technique was a little bit better. I'm sorry if you can hear my kids screaming in the background. Well, they're not screaming, they're shouting to each other because they're playing a game and they've been out all day playing in the field. Yeah, said field that caused the Karen was complaining about in this Facebook group. The thing that that annoyed me about this post is they're like, who can name and shame this lad? And I'm like going, whoa, hang on a minute. You're there as an anonymous member posting this post and you want somebody to name and shame a kid. What? For riding a bike in a field. Now, it may well have been a motorbike. Like one of those little scooter things, right? But my point was, well, at least they're doing it in the field. They're not doing it up and down the roads or the paths or, near people's cars or, damaging stuff. If it was a push bike, then that's even more ridiculous, which I do happen to think it is, because I think I actually know who the child is. And I'm going, that's a push bike. What are you complaining about? A push bike being pushed in the field? And if it's, I'm concerned for my child's welfare. Well, then go the other way to the park. You don't have to walk past the field, right? There are 3 different ways you can get into the local park. Only one of them goes past the field, right? So, and your post is not about the concern for your child. You're here trying to name and shame another child, a kid, right? On a Facebook group. And that I don't agree with, right? And I even put in the post going, did you even speak to this child? Did you even, because apparently they rode too closely to them, right? Which also makes me think, well, that's not going to be a motorbike, because if it was a motorbike, they got right up next to you, that's on this field or whatever, well, why didn't you report it to the police? Right? Or, the community officers or whatever, that do wander around. But my child is too scared to go to the park because, there's a child somewhere in the vicinity that is on a bike. What? Oh my God, people. We had somebody moaning the other day they were making too much noise in the field. I'm like, if you've got a problem with kids playing in the playground and the community centre and the field, which are all next to each other, don't friggin' move there then. What are kids supposed to do? Be absolutely silent? What? Oh, honestly. Anyway, I should go back in my box. But yeah, it just really, really narked me that here's this anonymous member who wants to call out, wants to name and shame somebody. I'm like, no. And then responded to my post of telling me to pipe down. I'm like, well, if you don't want somebody to respond to your post, don't post it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, what? Because I didn't agree with you or I didn't give you the name of this child. Well, no, because it honestly, nobody would know exactly which child it is. Because you gave no descriptions whatsoever. Not that I would ever do that anyway. If anything, if I needed to, I'd go and speak to the child or their parent or whatever and tell them the fact there's a post on there and, go and speak to them. Anywho, that was my little... Like I say, I normally don't get involved in stuff. A lot of the posts I see, I'm just like, oh, really? Somebody's dog is barking too loudly. It's a dog. Somebody's cat keeps pooing on my lawn. It's a cat. Do you know what I mean? I have, yeah, most of the time the posts just make me laugh. But I was like, no. Do you know what? No. Just no. Right, so I'm going to finish this off. And originally I was going to try and paint a little butterfly on this middle finger. And I did the 3 dots for the body and just went, do you know what? I actually just like that. think I'm just going to leave it at that. I am going to... I'm going to put base coat over the ones that have got foil and the nail art on. Not the middle finger, because it's really not sufficient nail art to require base coat. Just because I find it makes the top coat stick better and you don't end up with a patchy top coat. And then I'm just going to top coat the other fingers, because they can just go straight in for a top coat. And then there we go. That's this set. Not even remotely close to what I was intending it to look like. But I think we got there in the end, and I think we get a win for this one. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Yeah. Let me know. Even my Karen debate, if you like, if you want to. I don't mind. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this painful fail video. I hope it has tickled you along the way, and at least made you feel better of going, we all have these moments. It just happens. Okay? Persevere, keep going. Yeah. Because you can do it. And you can get there in the end, even if it looks nothing like you intended it to. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.